Elon Musk is fired up. His social media platform, Corp, formerly known as Twitter, filed a thermonuclear lawsuit, his words, against Media Matters for America. The lawsuit accuses the watchdog group of defaming X in an attempt to destroy it. Turns out free speech is so expensive, even the world's richest man can't afford it. This whole issue really comes down to the numbers. I'll do the math in a minute. But first, if you haven't followed the saga, Media Matters reported that ads on X were running next to pro-Nazi content, prompting advertisers to flee. X says Media Matters gamed the platform by curating its feed with fringe content, creating the false and misleading impression that users commonly see ads alongside neo-Nazi posts. But a lawsuit won't help Musk answer the big question, a question no court can answer, which is whether free expression is compatible with making money. The advertisers, now fleeing X, seem to be saying that it's not. Musk is hailed as a free speech champion for buying X, but that may be premature. The constitutional right to free speech prohibits the government from restricting it, not private citizens or businesses. X is a private company, so it can restrict speech all it wants, and it will probably have to. I wish it were different. Free speech is crucial. It's important to hear all views, particularly the ones you don't like. But free speech can also be controversial and divisive, which isn't great for companies trying to sell stuff to as many people as possible. Just ask Bud Light or Target or any one of many companies ensnared in the culture wars. Running ads alongside divisive speech is a good way to lose customers. That's essentially what companies are now telling X. A growing list that includes Apple, Disney, Comcast, and IBM have pulled their ads after Media Matters published its report. It's hard to say how much damage X has already taken because it's no longer a public company, so its financial statements are not publicly available. But it was a public company until Musk took it private last year, and the financial information that is available does not paint a pretty picture. In 2021, X's last full year as a public company, it posted record revenue of more than $5 billion. But after expenses, it had operating income of about $270 million, which is only 5% of revenue. That's way lower than the typical operating margin for US tech companies. As a group, they posted an operating margin closer to 30% that year. So X didn't have much room for error when Musk bought it the following year. And from there, things went downhill fast. Within a month of Musk's takeover, Media Matters reported that 50 of X's top 100 advertisers had pulled their ads or announced they would do so over concerns about the platform's new content moderation policies. These advertisers reportedly accounted for $2 billion in revenue since 2020. By the time of those defections, X's sales had already begun to dry up. In the fourth quarter of 2021, X reported record sales of $1.6 billion. A quarter later, that had dropped to $1.2 billion. And by the second quarter, the last for which public numbers are available, it was closer to $1.1 billion. 3 months later, in September of last year, Musk admitted that US ad revenue was down 60%. With the latest round of ad defections, X's revenue is almost certainly lower now. So even by conservative estimates, X could be losing more than $1 billion a year. The lesson, if we needed reminding, is that speech isn't free. The only question, which is particularly urgent for ad-supported social media platforms like X, is who bears the cost. So far, it hasn't been users. With few exceptions, they can say what they want, when they want, without consequence, particularly if they are anonymous. Now companies are telling X they won't bear the cost either, which leaves Musk holding the bag, a rare case of privatized losses and socialized gains. It will go on like this as long as Musk keeps pumping money into X on top of the $44 billion he paid to acquire it. I doubt he'll stomach that for long, particularly given that X is already worth many billions less than what Musk paid for it. More likely is that X will start muzzling its users. Never mind what Musk said previously.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
It'll be a blow to free expression, but that's the way business has always worked. If you want to make money, don't offend your customers. It's a lesson other social media platforms are undoubtedly relearning, and a lesson every worker already knows. You can tell your boss what you really think. Just don't bother showing up for work tomorrow.